Here's Brody Brazil.
You know, I'm feeling pretty sad, man. Feeling pretty sad. But what's hanging me up tonight is I flew from New York out to the Bay for opening night. You know, went to the game with the whole family, the brother. Hadn't seen a lot of my buddies since before the pandemic. And the feeling of optimism, even though there wasn't a full tank necessarily of fans, Eklund was on the ice. You know, Weatherby had a goal. It
was a good crowd.
Electric atmosphere.
I was there opening night. It was a pretty good crowd, and it was a great comeback effort, right? The way the game played out with Winnipeg. Weren't the Sharks down by 2, and they got the final 4, I think, of the game, something like that?
That's right.
Yeah.
They came storming back. It looked like some of the kind of playoff-style efforts of the past, of like the 2010 eras.
Right.
There was a ton of heart on the ice, and you could really feel that. And, you know, after yesterday's game, I was talking to my brother, and it just felt like today was one of those games where you have to win. You know, if the effort's there, that's great. But after that kind of performance at home, it's like, as a fan for my entire life, I need a W today. So, like, the way it ended was rough, of course, but at the end of the day, like, it's an L, you know. We need 2 points right now.
Right.
You can tell the guys are a little dejected out there, especially going off at the end of the game, and it just hurts, man. That's a tough night.
Not to put words into your mouth, but I think what you're telling me by sharing the opening night part of it is that maybe the buzz that was there with this team and the way things started are not the same. Now, let me just say that every team comes out of the gate with buzz, right? Every team's got optimism out of their training camp, or if it's baseball, it's spring training. But like, don't you think the Sharks sustained that buzz through October and even through November and into December? They had some things about them that made you believe like they can overcome a lot. They don't have to struggle this year. I mean, they still might, but they're not destined to have a really rough season. Now, I think January, some turns for the worse. February, even more. I mean, just 2 total wins last month. I think once the calendar turned here, the Sharks have 4 regulation wins in 2022. So maybe is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. And I guess it's just been a kind of odd season because of that stretch where we had so many guys out with COVID.
Right.
And, you know, Timo Meier, who was on an absolute tear, was out, and all these rookies come up, and John McClain's behind the bench, and he did a great job. And it just felt like, man, maybe there is some depth here. And when we get our guys back, we can storm into the second half of the season. And I really had that optimism. And the wheels just kind of fell off the wagon, and Carl got hurt, and it's just kind of like, I guess my initial point and my overall point is it's like, man, how did we get here, you know, to tonight where it just feels so bad, you know?
Well, and that's another thing. I think when the injuries started to accumulate, you know, one here and there, you understand no team is going to get the chance to have their opening night roster all season long. But when it's Carlson, and then it's also Ferraro, and it's also Reimer, but also Aiden Hill. Not to mention Kevin Labanc, Nikolai Knizhov, now Dahlin's on the injured reserve. I hope he'll get to finish his first full NHL season. I don't know the status of what's going on or how long it's going to keep him sidelined. But to your point, there were some indications, and I think a lot of us just didn't want to believe it. But after things like this, even after a night like tonight, it's a different slap in the face than last night, but it still is one.
Right. And I guess to leave you with a question so you can get to another caller here is...
Well, I got one more for you, but you go first.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, this is a gentleman's conversation. I like it. You know, last season, such a bright spot was Knizhov. I mean, he was a stud.
Agreed.
For the lack of fanfare he had coming into the league and being paired with Erik Karlsson for chunks, I mean, he played like a budding, complete rock back there.
No doubt.
Just from your perspective, the lack of Knizhov, especially now that some of these guys are going down, I mean, I would just love to see where his development would be right now if he could even play half the games to this point.
Yeah.
It's a real bummer.
That's been one that it's been less talked about because he just hasn't been present, right? It's not like he was in the lineup and then out. He just hasn't even been around it at all. And apparently, you know, at last check from Bob Bugner, he wasn't even close, right? So this whole season is going to be a wash for him injury-wise. I do agree. Look, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, the entire season would be different, but certainly it's those types of depth situations that help your team out. And it's what you plan for. Like, you plan to have Aiden Hill and Reimer as a 1-2 punch. But when you get, honestly, and we can go to right now, they're both gone. So you have no 1, no 2. But how long has it been where it was only Reimer, then Hill, then Reimer? With COVID, with injuries, with minor stuff back and forth, it truly feels like it's been since December that Bob Bugner had the option of going, you tonight, you tomorrow, back and forth, or whatever, even riding the hot hand. It's more been, well, this is the only starter quality goalie that we think we have tonight, so we're going with Hill, or Reimer 13 times in a row. So
absolutely, yeah.
I feel like the injuries have definitely been a part of this that kind of, I don't want to say sunk the ship, but definitely put a few more holes in it that needed patching that didn't need to happen. Hey, so you're in New York.
I am.
You're from the Bay, is that right?
Yeah, I grew up in Alameda.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So are you out in New York temporarily, or is that your home now?
Oh no, I moved here about 6 years ago.
Okay.
I'm 27 and I'm an actor, so I'm
cool.
out here flailing around with my life.
I could tell you had a little performance. You got that quality here, even on the phone. I could tell.
Oh, well, thank you.
What's the what? Two things about this. This is my question. What keeps you hooked to the Sharks? Like, is that just like a connection for you to the Bay Area? And then secondly, how hard is it to maintain that? Because I doubt you ever see anybody walking around New York with a teal sweater on, or that happens few and far between.
Oh, yeah, those are great questions. Well, I came into my Sharks fandom with the age I am, pre-Jumbo into Jumbo era.
Okay.
So my favorite player who has ever walked the earth is Joe Thornton.
All right.
I have his World Cup 2003 or 4, whatever, of hockey jersey signed on my wall right here. So
cool.
For me, it was this thing that was so much a part of my life with my dad, with my brother, with friends that I always, I went to college in Oregon and I caught every single game. I don't know if I've missed a game unless I didn't have internet or something.
No kidding.
Yeah. I am glued to every single game for probably an 11-year streak. So
wow.
For whatever reason, it's something that is it's almost like a ritual for me that's helpful for just the pace of my life that I know at least every other night, a couple times a week during the season, I'm going to be, tuning in. And honestly, you and Randy and Brett and having Ramenda back is a hell of a treat, man. I love that man with all my heart. And Brownie and just, it feels
don't throw Curtis in there. You were doing fine. Don't throw Curtis in there. That ruins it. Keep going though.
Brownie, I'm with you, bro. We can take out Brody together.
He's not here. He already left. He already left the building. He left a long time ago. Where are you going?
Yeah,
I said,
"I'm out right at the bell."
Absolutely. He's a change and click out of here guy. He's got a long commute though.
That's
I do have to give him.
my kind of guy.
I got to give him that.
Oh man, that's funny. And then the second part of your question is, honestly, in my group of friends growing up, even in Alameda, so close to the Sharks fandom, I was kind of the only one. I mean, I had a big group of friends that were Red Wings fans because they had family from Detroit. So even growing up, I felt like I've been on my own wearing the Sharks colors kind of. So out here, it just feels like more of the same, but I got to stay up a little later to catch the game.
Yeah.
So
it's a commitment. It's a lifestyle. When you're going to commit to it, you're going to change coasts, and then you're going to have to stay up super late for those games, right? Or catch replays, or maybe your acting career keep you up late. Yeah. So, hey, are you? Can you promote something? Are you working right now? Are you acting? You doing something that we should know about?
Oh man, that is so kind of you. I appreciate it. Well, I am a voice actor, and I do my thing. But actually, you might recognize me from the chat. I'm Ghost Charm.
Oh, okay.
Chat.
All right.
And I run a YouTube channel that's all to do with video games.
All right. So check you out in the chat. You know what? When you're done with this call, jump in the chat so that people can just click on that, go to it real easy, and say, "Hey, it's me."
That's awesome of you, man.
Yeah, no, awesome. I love to hear it. So, hey, thank you so much for the call. This was a pleasure, and stay safe out there in the East Coast. And thanks for your commitment. Thanks for being here on the channel. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you as well.
All right.
Talk soon.
All right. Yes, sir.